Oh my gosh. I think I lost him. Hello. What the heck are you?
What up, party people? It's your boy, MC Popsicle, and welcome to Weird Interviews. What's up, party people? It's your boy, the interplanetary ice cube, MC Popsicle! Thank you. And today, I am super excited. We are talking to Carl Toop. And who is Carl Toop? He is the principal alien actor from the movie Aliens. It is an Academy Award-winning film, one of the best sci-fi movies of all time, one of the best action movies of all time, and dare I say it, one of the best movies of all time. I'm super excited to talk to him, but first, shout out to Neven Eyewear. They make incredible, good-looking, affordable sunglasses. Make sure to go check them out. Also, Designs by Galarza. They make all my custom hats. They can make some custom stuff for you. This hat glows in the dark. It's insane. So make sure to check both of them out. And without further ado, the interview. How you doing, Mr. Carl?
I'm good, Josh. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to speak with you.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
So, I've been reading about you online, and I got a lot of questions for you. From what I read, you were a dancer before you got involved with aliens. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was my training. I started when I was about 14, which is quite late for a dancer. Started that because the rugby at school didn't interest me too much, so I went to dance classes instead. And then when I was 17, I went to dance college, and that was a full 3 years of solid dance, theatre training and everything like that. And that's what really set my career off, the dancing side of it. So that was what I'd been doing, and I went into choreography at the end. So I did I had a good education. It was a good school in London, not far from London, and it really set me up for the business. You know, the lady that ran the school, she knew a lot about the business, how to get into it. She allowed me to work while I was actually at school to help me pay through my college, and she actually got me my equity card, so which in those days you had to have to do any sort of theatre work. So that was good. And then obviously that set me up for doing other things. We did television work, film work. Well, I did one film. I think we might talk about that later. But I did quite a bit of television with the dancers and a lot of these variety shows, I suppose you call them. And then a lot of theatre in the West End, which is like Theatreland of London. And that was great. I loved it. It was a great experience, and I'm glad I stuck out the 3 years because it was good training.
Yeah. So, what were you doing at the time that the alien part came around?
Well, I was actually in the West End. I was doing it was actually a play. It was a Tom Stoppard play. It was called Jumpers. I think there was about eight dancers in the thing. I don't know what the play was about. It was really weird. it was, yeah, I can't even explain it. We were 8 dancers, we were all dressed in yellow for some reason. Apparently that's psychologically, that's yellow means something, so we represented that in the play. And I had a role of going across the stage on wires as an astronaut. I don't know why I was doing it, but I was paid to do it. So I just floated across the stage on wires in an astronaut. And it was my agent who'd heard about the job for going up for Aliens. And he said, well, if you fancy going along, they're looking for someone who can do, who can move, dance, slim, and do a bit of wire work. So go along. So I went along to the Pinewood Studios. That's where the auditions were held. Walked in, probably about 200 other people looking for this one job. And I'd gone along with a friend of mine, so we'd almost gone along just as a laugh, really, because as soon as you walk in, you see all these other guys, and they're really getting into being alien and all this. And we're walking, we've just come from a theatre, so it's a completely different element. So we sort of walked in, and so they started the audition. The first thing they said was "move like aliens." So, I'm sure you know how to move like an alien. So that's what we did. And they whittled us down, and they called us back for a second audition. We had the guys that were doing the costumes and that. They came and explained us how the costume would be working. We didn't actually see the costume. They just had a drawing of it, and they explained how the head would work and everything. And then again, teaching us how to maybe some of the movements we might be able to do in the costume. Whittled us down again, and had to come back for a third audition. That one was where the wire work came in, and they sent us up to the top of because James Cameron was there for each part of the auditions. So
wow,
when he said do something, you jumped. So I did. It was this. I can't tell you how high it was. It was like in filming the studio itself. It was scaffolding right up to the top, and they just wired you up. Said, right, jump off as if you're being an alien. So that's what I did. That's what you could do. But basically, all I did was just jump and just hope for the best, because I'd never done that sort of height work before. Because the one I was doing on the stage was probably about 3 or 4 meters off the floor, which was nothing. This one must have been about 15 meters, I suppose. And we carried on a few more things in the audition, and they just said at the end, "You got the job."
Wow.
I can't believe
that runs into one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. So I'm imagining all these people being really weird in the audition, like trying to get into character and
get into the role, yeah.
But what was your idea as far as to be the character of this alien? Were you emulating like an animal, or was it just made up in your mind, or is there something specific that you had in mind?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing I was trying to do was try not look like a human being. So I was trying to get rid of my movements as a human being. So obviously you sort of go down the scale, you go to your monkey or your gorillas, trying to move like them, and then the reptiles sort of a smoother sort of movement, sort of less jerky than a human walking. I was trying to slither, I suppose you'd call it, and I sort of combined a bit of that, I suppose. But you still feel like an idiot doing it. You're not dressed as an alien. You're just in rehearsal gear, and you're sort of doing these funny movements. But it's amazing what you do at an audition.
Yeah.
If you want the job badly enough, you just go for it. It was a good time. It was good education, because had the stuntmen, the people that were doing the costumes. They came and explained how it was working. So that was it's all interesting to see how it all came together, and how they auditioned us. It was good. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of H.R. Giger. Like I think he's so cool. Like his art is so crazy, and it's so well done, and it's a weird place in your mind. It's like a believable creature that could exist.
You've probably seen the drawing of the anatomy of the alien creature, and he's marked, what every part of the body, the tubes out the back, the head, the size of the head. He's explained everything, how it works, and you can imagine it actually working. You can say, okay, that would be possible, the way he set it up and everything. But yeah, his designs they're amazing. I'm hopefully going down to this weekend. He's got one in the south of France. They're just doing an exhibition of his work down there. I forget what it's called. C'est où le Geiger? Perpignan, which is a village down in the south. So I'm hopefully going to try and get down there this weekend to see it. But, his main museum's in Switzerland, so that might be another trip another time. Yeah, but his work's amazing.
It is. It's very. It's very, very good. Like when I look at the alien, I think of it's like a bug and like a lizard.
Yeah,
and their weird human elements. Like surely you use the visual to inform your process.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What did you think of when you look at it?
But when I actually walked in and saw the costumes hanging out there, I just couldn't imagine how I was going to make this look like anything sort of resembling something other than a human. Because the body suits were like leotards with long legs. I don't know what they're called, bodysuits, lycra, and then these rubber patches stuck all over it. So you get into that, and even when you're in it, you still don't look anything like an alien. And even moving in it, you didn't really get the feel of it. Then they start to put the hands on, the feet, get that all blended in. Then the neck piece goes on, and then the head goes on. And then you start that's when you started feeling the part, because the head, for me, was really what I was having to control the most to get the effect I wanted for the creature. The arms and the legs, it was easy enough to sort of try and they're bendy enough. But when you've got this fixed head on you, it's probably about a meter long, I suppose, and you've really got to find the way to move that, and get some idea of a creature, out of space creature or something. It's so once the costume was completely on, then you felt you could do something with it. But when it was just hanging up on the rack, I think there's about six bodysuits, and there's just no way this is going to look like anything. But once the lighting and makeup's on, it's fine. But no, it was. I think it was the head was really the piece that made me get into the movement of the creature, because that's the bit you really had to control, because you couldn't knock into anything, you couldn't jerk it, so that controlled a lot of the movements. So.
What did it feel like when you put it on? Did it feel terrible, or was it painful, or did it feel fine, or?
No, it felt fine. The hardest bit was the head. Like I said, it's because you really have to rebalance your neck. You've got your controlling your neck, because the head sits on the top of your head and the neck piece was covering my face, so your vision's fairly limited as well. I only had vision like straight ahead, so that at the end of the day caused problem with your eyes, because you've been fixed for so many hours with your eyes straight ahead. So when you take the costume off, your eyes have to get used to the usual vision. No, it was a pretty comfortable costume. It wasn't painful. I think the hardest bit, when you put the harness on for the wire work, that's if it's not placed right, it can be quite painful. Family jewel get crushed a bit. So, no, the actual costume itself wasn't too bad. It was good.
How could you see at all? Like what? How did that work?
It really was a limited slit between I suppose my neck, the rubber thing that came across was just below my eyes, and then the head was sitting here. So I really had this, probably about 5 inches and an inch slit. So I had no side vision at all. It was really just vision straight ahead. and because you couldn't move your head just to look, because you couldn't see where you were really going. So you had to everything. It was a bit rigid to start with, and then once you'd felt your way around the set, what they set up around you, and that you knew how far a wall was from you, how far an egg or something was next to you. So you try and work out your distances without banging your head into it, and then just jerking and then losing the whole effect. So it was an interesting costume to play with. It was easy enough to wear, but it was just make it come to life as well. For the film, but again, like I said, lighting, makeup, smoke, fireworks, that helps as well to cover up any mistakes I might have made. But no, it's when you see, like I said, when you see it in the dressing room, you thought, there's no way this is going to happen, and when you saw it on screen, I thought it was amazing, the detail and everything. Stan Winston and his team did a really good job of it. Amazing.
I love it. I love that. I'm like, that character is so cool looking. Like, I literally got a print of Giger's like drawing of it yesterday, because I just love how it looks. Yeah. Like, it's so cool. But I can imagine that head you would be like,
yeah. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't heavy. It just wasn't balanced. So you had the weight of the mouth, because one of the heads I had was hydraulic, so you had a lot of weight from the hydraulic wires coming up, cables coming up the back. So you had a lot of weight there. So that was another balance, trying to keep that steady. But yeah, it was the balance of the whole thing. The Geiger, when you see it, it's a thing of beauty almost. The way he's drawn the shapes of the alien, the way it's curved around sometimes. It's maybe I'm a bit biased, but I thought it was a thing of beauty.
No, I think it's beautiful. Like, I think it's so interesting and so creative. So were there puppeteers that were doing stuff also at the same time?
Yeah, because I had the mouth came out from the mouth, and sometimes opening the jaw as well. So that was all hydraulics. So I'd have two guys behind me sometimes, and they were pumping the hydraulics to make the mouth come out, or the mouth open. So that was usually a fixed shot, because I couldn't move with them. They were set up at the back, so it was just me having to move the head or jerk towards the camera or something, and we get the timing set up between us, and they pump away with the hydraulics, and I hopefully get it in the right position for the camera. So that was interesting, because it was a different way of working the head because of the weight.
Yeah, that seems kind of difficult to choreograph all that.
Yeah, it's three of you. We managed.
So I read a bunch of different stuff, and I kind of got different answers in some websites about different things. And so, were you multiple aliens throughout the movie?
Well, were you one alien? Yeah, well, no, we were multiple, but I was the main alien with, if we were doing a single shot with any of the actors, like with Cynthia Dietrich, and a character Corporal Dietrich, Newt, any of the scenes where I was with one of the actors, Rico, and all that was me. But when you saw a mass of us, that was obviously other stuntmen and dummies. They had just had dummy aliens. They'd be chucking those in as well, like when we came down from the ceiling. That was a lot of the stuntmen at the base coming down, and then they were throwing the dummies in from the side to make it even look even more chaotic. So it was me, stuntmen and dummies. It was the whole lot on the group scenes. But like at the end, one of the scenes at the end with the Queen, there's me. It's just me, but they did two shots, so it looks like there's two of us at the base of the Queen alien. So they sort of took several shots of me, because basically the costume was the same for everyone. There was no difference. There was no different character alien. We were all the same. So it didn't matter, which one was filmed, and they just combined them to make it look like I was several, and when it was only me in some of the shots. But a lot of them, when you see a lot of us together, it was stuntmen. When we're calling upon this under the ceiling, that was me and the stuntmen behind. So.
How did you do that?
Upside down. No, we did it. No, it was filmed upside down. Sorry, we just crawled along, basically on the floor, and then he turned the camera up the other way. So, and that's his trick, James Cameron. Because some of the things you'd ask us, do you think there's this? I can't see it working. I really can't see how that's going to look. Anything special on the screen, and then you see it. Obviously, and it's. The effect, he just got some amazing effects from very simple ideas, really, because I'm sure he'd been there before, but he did use that technique quite a bit. Like there's one where I just go along the wind air duct, so it looks like I'm going along horizontally, but he's filming it from above, I think. Anyway, I'm going along the thing, so he's filming it above and I'm being dragged up with the wires. So that makes it look like I'm almost flying through the air duct. It's just gently touching the sides of the air duct while I'm being dragged up, and he's filming down, and then he turned the whole thing up so it looks like I'm going horizontally. So, that's his job. He does it quite well, I think, doesn't he? He's done quite well.
You got to work with the greatest. Everybody in that movie was just at the top of their game all the way across the board. And I was reading the Wikipedia about Aliens, and it literally made me excited just reading it, because it was like, this is the best sequel, this is the best action movie, this is the best sci-fi movie. It got Academy Awards. Like, I literally got like pumped reading that, because it was so cool how well everybody received it. Everybody loved it,
and it just so together in that film, and it just worked. It's with talent like that, you got James Cameron, you got Sigourney Weaver, you had Michael Bairn, you had all the other actors as well. They were all, they were young, they were talented, and they just created a great team as well. Because they some of them did a camp together, I think, and they got sort of fairly close on that. They learned how to communicate with each other, how to play off each other, and that. So that helped as well. But yeah, the talent was amazing. It was and Stan Winston's costumes and his set designs and everything. It was it was.
What was it like being on the set? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. There's a delay, so if I cut you off, I don't mean to. What were the sets like? One of the things that I love about Aliens and like the whole franchise is the world building is so good. It is such a lived-in world. Like, what was it like being on set?
It was like you saw it. It really was. The rubbish around, the darkness, the dampness. It smelled like you imagine it would smell. It was there's rain dripping down, the water dripping down. It was dark, and because we go from the studio and then work in the Acton Power Station, which they'd set up the scene, the sets as well there, and you go from one to the other, and they'd all be exactly the same. They'd have done a replica of each, depending on where we were filming. But the one where we filmed in the Acton Power Station, that was just the perfect setting. There was a lot of work done set-wise, but the actual atmosphere and the lighting in the building itself was just played to it ideally. It was a real dungy, grotty place. but it just really got that atmosphere going in us. You go in, you'd be cold, you'd be wet. It was just miserable. But
looks so good.
And the sets were very good, the detail on that. And some of it was really simply done. I'd say like electric cables and they painted black, and then it looked like something completely different. But that's their talent, isn't it? To turn something into something incredible. But no, it's, and the water scene where the one I did with Newt, that was in the water, and again they had the water dripping down and everything, and that atmosphere that you see on the film, that's how it was actually when we were doing it. It was. I suppose that makes the job quite easy when it's like that, or it makes it easier when you've got that actual feeling going already. So, yeah.
Just being in that world is so cool. Like, I've always had the utmost respect for the world building in that movie. Also, I read you were the Queen alien. Would that ever happen? I read that.
No, the Queen was. It was two guys in it. It was a robot, really. It was a puppet. It was more of a puppet than a costume. It was huge. She was huge. The Queen. I think they did a miniature version of her as well, when they did some close-up shots on the. I think they did that in the States, the close-up of the small one, but the one on the actual set, she was huge. It's towered above you. That was really impressive, because she was completely different. Her head's completely different from the little aliens around her. And yeah, that was very impressive. And that was a lot of work for them to do. The guys that were working that as a puppet, it was, to get the fluidity, the movement, and working with Sigourney and Lance as well, the scenes that they did with that, and it was that's real talent, doing that, because it was working a puppet and an actor together and trying to make them both look real. It was very clever.
Sounds hard. Sounds really hard.
Yeah, that's when you put talent together, it just works. It's good.
Yeah, that's what I figured that it was, because it's huge. And I mean, maybe that was a trick that it was huge, but I figured that one person couldn't do that.
Because I didn't see, I saw the actual puppet, and I saw them practicing it with Wonder, but I never saw the actual shooting with it. So I don't know how. When I saw it, they were practicing, and it was on the arms were on sticks, and there was hydraulics and everything in it. So, but there was a lot I didn't see how it was completely done. But just seeing how they moved it, and then seeing the effect on the screen, amazing what they did.
Yes. So doing all that you did in the movie, what was your favorite memory from the entire thing on set? What stands out to you the most?
Well, for me, I think it was when I did the water scene with Newt. That was a really good day's filming. We had a good time on it. It was working with Newt. She was incredible. Carrie. It was, we were, be in the pool, sort of have a break, take my head off, we'd have a chat while everyone else around us is sort of getting sorted out, and she was just amazing. She did exactly what she was told to. Well, I think we made more mistakes than she did. I think she just got. She was just there having fun. We were in the pool, and she'd scream, and she could scream. She was a good screamer. That was a good moment. It was fun. I remember that because it was a whole day's filming. We did that one in, so it was a good time. It was basically just me, Carrie, the director James Cameron, and the film. Well, there's loads of people around, but you just felt you were in a little group. It was quite intimate. Really, so no, that was fun. But there was everything was everything I did was impression. I was impressioned by it because everything was I don't know, it's great, but because everything was new to me as well, so I was doing things I'd never done before, and I'm working with these professionals who really know what they're doing, and they're working around you to make you look good as well. It's not just me that was making the creature look good; everyone else was doing it as well. So you just see how they managed to get my costume, like the one I was behind Dietrich before I dragged her up. They set me into the set at the back of her, and you can sort of see me in the film, but it's very well camouflaged. And the whole work that went into that was interesting, just getting me in there. Mind you, they left me there for about half an hour before they actually filmed the shot, but it was, so I think everything I did, I was learning as I was going along, everything was fun, it was a challenge. Some of it was a challenge, which is great when you're working. It's especially something like that. So no, it's the wall scene stays in my mind the most. But I think a lot of the things I did, when there's one when I was run over by the like the tank thing. That was quite impressive because you've got this huge thing. It's actually moving. It was.
Wow.
It was the timing was quite precise on that one, so that was exciting, shall we say?
I bet.
Pretty scary, but yeah, no, it was. That was another memorable moment because the thing was huge. It's one of these things that used to drag the planes around at the airports, and they just dressed it up. So,
wow,
pretty impressive. No, but it was. I think there's quite a few memories from it. So I've had. I haven't got a bad memory. That's pretty cool. I think it's everything was a good memory. Everything was a good experience. Can't complain. It's
sounds
lucky
fun.
boy. Yeah, lucky boy. So how did you get into watching the film Aliens?
Oh, well, that's just been my primary interest forever. Like, aliens have always been super on my radar ever since I was a little kid. I was like,
which one did you see the first? Because you're a bit younger than me. So which one did you see first of this the franchise?
I would want to say, I'm not positive, but I would imagine that I would have seen the first one first because that type of thing bothers me if I don't. I'm like a completionist. So, like, if I watch a movie, I have to watch the first one. If I play a video game, I have to play the first one because I want to know what's happening. But immediately, Alien just knocked my socks off, especially when you're young. It's like, this is the craziest thing.
I'm getting like third generation now because I'm getting the people that watched it when I'm in '86. They're now the grandparents of the people that are watching it now, so it's pretty scary, getting old, But some of these kids, you think, should they be watching a film at that age? Their parents think it's okay, so. No, but mind you, it's like scarier things now, aren't they? So.
It's exactly the same as scary as it was. The practical effects are so good that I bet in 100 years people will still be watching Alien and be like, ugh!
Well, especially the first one when it comes out of the stomach. That got everyone in the cinema. Just screams, weren't they? Everywhere. I remember seeing when I was at college, and that was that's amazing. Yeah.
There are a bunch of videos showing people during, like, when the first movie had just come out, like, and it was filming the audience when that happened, and everybody just losing their minds.
Great.
It's hilarious.
I was one of them, probably.
There's a video game about aliens called Alien Isolation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever played it or anything.
You saw how good I am technology wise.
Well, take a look at it at least, because I feel like you would be very impressed by it. It honestly is my favorite video game I've ever played in my life. It's like a survival horror game, and you're in the Sir?
So what was the name of it?
Isolation. Alien Isolation. Yeah,
Okay,
and so you're in one of these big ships. You're Ripley's daughter in the game, and you're basically in this big ship by yourself, and all the robots have like short circuited, so they're all trying to kill you. They see every human as a threat, and then there are aliens in the ship as well. It's terrifying. It is so scary. But watch it on YouTube or something if you get a chance.
And then you call that fun? Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I like to feel things, like even if it's uncomfortable things. If it's in art, then I'm like, okay, whatever the intended feeling was for a movie, even if it's sadness or horror, I find beauty in that.
Okay, that's great.
You know, so I appreciate it. So, why do you think Alien has stood the test of time, and the Xenomorph has, like, as well as it has?
Well, maybe not so much in the first one. I don't know, because see, the fans I see are more fans that have seen. Well, they've seen all of them, but the fans I talk to, they generally talk about the film that I was in. And I think with Aliens, I think everyone that I've spoken to relates to at least one character in the film. They've taken something from a character. The strength of Ripley. I can't remember what her name is. The headband.
Hicks.
Sorry.
Hicks.
No, well, yeah, he's another character that how they played off with Sigourney. With the headband, headscarf, the girl.
I know who you're talking about.
She was brilliant as well. I get a lot of girls that are very connected with her. They found a lot. They'd like to be able to do or react to other people like she was able to. With the courage, with a bit of guts and everything. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people seem to have found something in that film that is either helped them for some reason. They've managed to lose themselves in that whole atmosphere of the film and that. So I think that's one of the reasons. I think the other reason is it's one of the last films that didn't use any computer work. So I think as a sci-fi adventure film, I think you get the adrenaline from the actors coming through throughout the whole film. So that the whole atmosphere, that tension is all the way through the film, and that's partly due to the human element. I think that's probably the same in the first film as well. But I don't know. It's because it's not spoken to people, and they say, well, it's not really my sort of film. So I say, well, that's fine. It's not everyone's taste. But then some of them have sat them down and watched it with them. They've watched it with me. That's what I'm trying to say. And they've actually come out of it, saying, oh well, it was a bit more deeper. It was deeper than I actually thought it was going to be. There was a bit more guts to it than just a load of soldiers running around killing people and that. They found a bit more emotion in it, a bit more depth. So I think that as well helps.
Yeah.
But, I think it's just, and also I think also that, like we were saying at the beginning, all the talent that came together for that film just helped it step up to the level. I think so. That was everything. The planets united for that moment. I think that film. Yeah, but the series, the franchise, it's a pretty good one. And the Romulus, I think there's a lot of speculation. People are excited to see that one coming out. I think it's out in August. The next one, so that should be fun to see. Soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not far away.
I think that's a testament to the world building, is because all the Alien movies are kind of different genres. They're like, because the first one's like a horror, and then the second one is horror, but it's like an action adventure movie.
Adventure, and you've still got the sci-fi in it as well. So it's
it's interesting.
I think that's also makes it wasn't a copy. It wasn't a. You have the two different atmospheres in both films. So I think if James Cameron didn't try and copy the first one, because I don't think you could have done. I don't think it was possible to have got the same effect as the first one. So he added a lot more new stuff to the whole thing. So you weren't feeling like you were watching a sequel. You were watching another film, another story. So I think that helps as well with the sequel, especially because some sequels do tend to be just really a copy of the first. That was a good move by him, I think.
It made it its own thing.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting that you may not know. You may know this, but they asked Quentin Tarantino what movie made him want to get into the movie business.
Right.
And he said Aliens.
Really?
Yeah. He said there could have not been more hype for that movie before it came out, and it could not have delivered better. And when I saw that, I knew I wanted to get into this industry.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? To influence someone like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's motivated a lot of people. It's because there's so many different aspects. So many different. You've got the acting, you've got the sets, you've got the costumes, you've got all that. So I think anyone who's interested slightly in the business, I think they've probably taken something from the film, or they probably looked at it at some point to try and learn something of the trade in it. So, no, it's good that as well as being entertainment, it's educational as well for some people. Something like that. So,
yeah,
it's good.
It's the peak. It's like the archetype of sci-fi adventure. Like it's the top of the mountain.
Yep.
Everyone's trying to get there. Okay.
Yep.
I got one more question, then I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, no problem.
Aliens, real or not real?
I think there's something out there. We can't be the only. There's something out there. I'll leave it at that.
That makes sense to me. That tracks with me. That doesn't make any sense that the whole universe.
I don't know. We're not even. We're just nothing. I'm sure we're nothing in this. The whole global thing, universe, universe or whatever. I don't think there's something, but who knows? Who knows?
Not me, but I agree with you. It seems like logically that tracks.
Yeah. Just a different time.
Time, space. There's dimension. There's a lot going on around here.
Too much for me to sort out for everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Carl.
Thanks for inviting me.
I've enjoyed this a lot. It's been very fun.
Yeah, it's been great. All right.
Thank you. And you have a good day, and I really appreciate this. You're a very kind gentleman, and I enjoyed speaking with you.
Well, it was nice for you to invite me onto your show. So thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
All right, cheers. Thanks, Josh.
Have a good day.
And that's about it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Carl. I had an absolute blast talking to you. Also, everybody, please make sure to follow the page on Facebook, MC Popsicle's World.
And without further ado, the sponsors! First thing is I would like to give a very special shout out to my new sponsor, Big Ideas Consulting. Make money and grow your business the smart way with Big Ideas Consulting. Please check out Ramicus.com for all the MC Popsicle merchandise. We got buttons, shirts, phone cases, posters, everything. So make sure to get on over to Ramicus.com and get you something. Stop! Before you do anything else, check this out.
This is a vintage 90s Ninja Turtle figure that was modeled after the turtles from the movie. I love it. And this is a newer turtle figure. I also love it. You should go to the Toy Stash on Instagram and follow them. They have vintage and new toys. And if you're a toy collector like me, you need to know about them. Follow them on Instagram right now. Another thing you need to do is check out Step On It Rugs on Instagram. They are insane. They made me an MC Popsicle rug. Anything you can imagine, they can make a rug for it. Hit them up. Also, shout out to my shoe sponsor, Solsfig. They make amazing future sneakers that are just bananas. Please follow them on Instagram. You will love their selection.